Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss the specific heat of solid and its behavior at different temperature. So if you plot the specific heat of solid with respect to temperature, so we see that at higher temperature the specific heat is constant and its value is nearly equal to 3R. However, as we go on decreasing the temperature, so the specific heat value go on decreasing and it reaches 0 at absolute 0. This plot could be divided into different regions. For example, the region from here to here from point A, then another region from A to B, and then another region from B to C onward. This is the constant specific heat value region. The region from 0 to A, this is related to the very low temperature, and the region between A and B is related to the intermediate temperature, mean neither very low nor very high, and this region is associated with the high temperature. The region of intermediate and low temperature could be explained quantum mechanically, while the region at higher temperature could be explained classically. And when we are talking about the classical region, so the specific heat of solid is almost constant, and that is equal to 3R. So we have a classical law for the specific heat capacity, and that is known as the Dulong-Pettit law. It says that at high temperature the specific heat of solid is constant and is nearly equal to 3R, where R is the ideal gas constant. However, this law failed to explain the behavior of specific heat of solid at low temperature. So only this region can be explained by the Dulong-Pettit law. However, this region is not possible to explain by this classical Dulong-Pettit law. So we have two explanations for this region. One is the Einstein theory of specific heat, and another is the Debye correction. Why Debye correction? Because the Einstein theory of specific heat correctly explains the behavior of specific heat at high and intermediate temperature. However, it fails at low temperature. So this region and this region could be correctly explained by Einstein model. However, this region, the low temperature region, could not be explained by the Einstein theory, and there was a failure of the Einstein theory in this region. So this problem was solved by the Debye theory of specific heat, which correctly explained all the three regions. So first we are going to discuss the Einstein theory of specific heat, and then we will discuss the Debye correction. According to the Einstein, a solid could be regarded as a system of n atoms, where each atom behave like a tiny harmonic oscillator vibrating at the same frequency. So here in this video, you see that the atoms are vibrating at the same frequency. Keep in mind that atoms in a solid are vibrating in three-dimensional space. It means that we can resolve the vibratory motion of an atom in three components, so that each atom behave like three linear oscillator. So if there are n atoms, it means that there could be three n linear oscillator in a solid. Now the problem of harmonic oscillator is solved quantum mechanically, and you know that in quantum mechanics the energies are discrete, and the energies of harmonic oscillator is given by this equation number 1, where J is the vibrational quantum number, H is the Planck constant, and nu is the frequency. The value of J could be 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Here you may have a very interesting result for J is equal to 0. If J is equal to 0, so the energy is non-zero, and this energy is known as the 0-point energy, and this is associated with the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Now all atoms are oscillating at the same frequency. It means that the energy level Ej is non-degenerate, that is Gj is equal to 1. So if Gj is equal to 1, so the partition function can be written as this. And if you use equation number 1 over here, so you can write partition function as z is equal to this one, and let's suppose this is equation number 2. Now if we suppose h nu by kt is x, so we can write the partition function as this. Now for different value of j, z could be written in this series, and if you take e power minus half x is common, so you have this series, and we know that this could be written as this, because 1 minus x to the power minus 1 is equal to 1 plus x square plus x cube and so on. So here instead of x you have e power minus x, so you can write in this expansion. Now you can bring it in the denominator, so z is equal to this one. Now again you can put the value of x over here, so z is given by e power minus half h nu by h nu by kt divided by 1 minus e power h nu by kt. Let's suppose this is equation number 3. Now the temperature at which h nu is equal to kt is known as the characteristic temperature and represented by theta e. This theta e is also known as the Einstein temperature. Why it is called characteristic temperature? Because this value of theta e is different for different solid, that is each solid had a specific value of this theta e. That is why it is called the characteristic temperature, and this theta e is the value below which the material behave quantum mechanically, and above which the specific heat of the material behave classically. So we have h nu is equal to k theta e when the temperature is equal to the specific temperature. So h nu by k could be equal to theta e, and we can use this equation number 4 and equation number 3, so that you can write the partition function in terms of the Einstein characteristic temperature. And let's suppose this is equation number 5. Now we know that the energy of the 3N oscillator is given by this relation, and we have Z from the previous slide. So if we put Z is equal to this one, so first we apply the log and then we will differentiate with temperature. So if we apply the log, so you have this one. Now if you apply d by dt, so you have this one, and after the rearrangement you can have this equation, and let's suppose this is equation number 6. This is the total energy of the 3N oscillator. Now the specific heat is given by 1 by n du by dt. So if you divide u by n and take its derivative with temperature T, so you will get this relation from equation number 6. Now Cv is equal to this one by rearrangement, and if you plot the Cv with respect to temperature, so you have this curve where the classical behavior start at temperature T is equal to theta E, which is known as the Einstein temperature or characteristic temperature. So below this temperature you have the quantum behavior, and above this temperature you have the classical behavior. Now if you have the temperature very higher than theta E, so this theta E divided T is very less than 1, and e to power theta E divided by T is equal to 1 plus this square, and higher power could be ignored because this theta E is very less than 1. So you can write this exponential as 1 plus theta E divided by T. So if you put this in equation number 7 and simplify it, so you are here. Now you see that 1 theta E by T is less than 1, so 1 plus theta E by T is almost equal to 1. So what we can write, Cv is nearly equal to 3R, which is the classical theory of the specific heat. So it means that Einstein theory is successful in explaining the classical behavior of the specific heat of solid. Now, in second case, when T is very less than theta E, for example, if we are here in this region, so in that case theta E by T is greater than 1, and so this is also a quite larger number, and if we subtract 1 from a bigger number, so there is no big difference. So E theta E by T minus 1 is equal to E theta E by T, and if you use this in equation number 7, so you get this equation number 8. Now it means that at lower temperature the specific heat of solid decreases as exponential decay, and this exponential decay is much faster than what we observe experimentally. So this is the point where the Einstein theory of specific heat fails, because the variation in specific heat at temperature at lower temperature region is slow, while here it is the exponential decay, and we know that the exponential decay is quite faster, so it doesn't explain correctly the experimental behavior of the specific heat. So we are going to the Debye correction. So Einstein considered that all the atoms are oscillating at the same frequency. However, Debye said that these atoms are not oscillating at the same frequency, they are actually oscillating at different frequency. Rather, it is a system of covered oscillation having continuous spectrum of natural frequencies. So these natural frequency of the oscillator could be the same as frequency of the possible stationary wave if the solid is considered to be an elastic cube of side length L. So we know that if we have stationary wave in a length L, so the wavelength is given by 2L divided by N, where N represents the number of NT nodes. So here we have 3 NT nodes. Similarly, if C is the propagation speed of propagation, and here just like the electromagnetic oscillation produce photons, so here the vibration of the atom produce phonon, and if C is the speed of phonon, then we can write lambda is equal to C divided by nu, where nu is the frequency. So what you can write from equation number 10 and 11, that N is equal to 2L divided by C into nu. Now, if N represents the number of all possible frequencies, so N is equal to pi by 6 N cube, and this relation you can find in the book of Salinger on page number 351. So if you put the value of N on the previous slide, so you have N is equal to this, and by rearranging you have N is equal to 14. Now it means that the number of oscillator, this is the number of frequencies. Now we know that each frequency could be assigned to an oscillator, so it means that this equation number 4 also represents the number of oscillator having frequencies from 0 to nu. However, there is fixed number of oscillator or fixed number of atom in a solid, so it means that there should be an upper limit on the frequency, so that we have finite number of oscillator or atom in a solid. So we put an upper limit on the frequency, so that the number of frequencies could be corresponding to the finite number of oscillator. And let's suppose that maximum value of the frequency is nu m. This nu m is also known as the cutoff frequency or Debye frequency. So if you limit the value of nu to a fixed value nu m, so this n will be equal to 3n, which is the total number of oscillators. So now from equation number 14 and 15 you you can have n is equal to 3n nu squared by nu n cube. Now you can see here that this is the main difference between the Debye and Einstein theory, where in Einstein theory the total number of oscillators is 3n. However, in the Debye theory the total number of oscillators is not exactly equal to 3n. It depends upon this ratio of the frequencies. So the number of oscillator having frequency between nu and delta nu is given by this. In the previous slide we have n is equal to this, so by delta nv you just take simple differentiation, so 3 nu square delta nu. So if you arrange this, so you have this equation number 7. Now this equation number 7 actually constitutes a sub-assembly of oscillator having the same frequency, that is a same frequency between nu and nu plus delta nu. It means that we can apply the Einstein model on this sub-assembly of the oscillator having the same frequency. Keep in mind that the Einstein model was based on the number of oscillators having the same frequency. So if we apply that model, so what we can do that in Einstein model we have the total energy is given by this, so we can replace 3n by delta nu and theta e by h nu by k. So you have this relation, so delta nu for 3n and for theta e h nu by k, so you 1 k is here, so cancel 1 by 2 and theta e, so h nu by k, so you have h nu by kt. Put the value of delta n nu from equation number 7, so you have this relation. Here we are omitting 1 by 2 because in the next slide we are going to calculate the specific heat, and the specific heat is the differentiation of this internal energy, and 1 by 2 is already constant, so this play no role in the specific heat. So we want to make this equation of energy more simpler, so we omit this half because it has nothing to do with the specific heat of solid. So you have this relation. Now you can also write in the differential form like this one, and by integrating you can have the total energy given by this equation number 19. Now to find this total energy of the system we have to integrate this integration, and for this we do some substitution. Let h nu by kt is equal to x, so nu is equal to kt by h into x, so d nu will be equal to kt by h and dx, and also we say that h nu m by k is theta d, so this is called the Debye temperature, just like we had theta e in the Einstein theory and we call it the Einstein temperature. So here we have theta d and this is known as the Debye temperature, and it plays the same role as theta e play in the Einstein model, that at temperature below theta d the material behave quantum mechanically, and at temperature above theta d the material behave classically. So after this substitution equation 19 is reduced to this. Now by rearranging you have this equation. For example here 9k, so 9k nk could be written as nr, you know that very well. So we have to use this equation number 20 to calculate the specific heat of solid. Now if we talk about the higher temperature, so x should be smaller because we know that the x and t are inverse to each other, and in that case e power x minus 1 will be equal to x, because we know that e power x is this one, and if x is smaller so the square and higher power could be ignored, so e power x is equal to 1 plus x, we already have minus 1, so this could be approximated as x. So in this case from equation number 20 we can have the total energy in case of higher temperature region is given by this equation number. Now if you integrate this, this is x cube m integrate and you put the limit, so it's m cube divided by 3 after the rearrangement and putting the value of xm, you have this relation. And then we also have hm nu k by is equal to theta d. So if you put it here, so you have this relation, you can cancel this one, so you have u is equal to 3n RT. Now CV is equal to this one, so if you differentiate with t and divide by n, so you have 3r. It means that the Debye theory correctly explains the behavior of the specific heat at high temperature. Now we are going to the low temperature region, so where x is larger. So xm is already a higher value, so if x is larger, so the xm tends to infinity, and this integration reduces to this. Now we have to solve this integral, and the solution of this integral is gamma 4 zeta 4, where you may know about the gamma function and zeta function. The general form of this integration is this one, so that is equal to gamma n zeta n. So here we have x cube, it means that we have n is equal to 4, so gamma n is equal to n minus 1, so gamma 4 will be equal to 3 pictorial, and gamma zeta n is equal to this one. So for gamma 4 you will have 1 by 1 to the power 4, 1 by 2 to the power 4, and so on. So here gamma 4 is equal to 3 pictorial and 3 pictorial is equal to 6, and this series is equal to 54 divided by 90. So if you rearrange, so you have this relation. Now the CV, so you have 1 by n du by dt, so you have this equation. This is equation number 21, and this is known as the T cube law. If you compare this with the Einstein, so in that case the CV was decreasing exponentially with time, with temperature, sorry. However, in Debye theory, the CV is decreasing as a T cube in the lower temperature region, which is exactly the experimental behavior. So if we plot the Einstein and Debye theory, so you see that the Einstein in Einstein theory, the specific heat decreases very rapidly as compared to the Debye theory, and this variation is very much prominent at the lower temperature region. That is why we say that in the intermediate and high temperature region, Einstein model is okay. However, at the very low temperature region, Einstein model is not correctly explaining the experimental behavior of the specific heat. So this was all about the specific heat of solid in terms of the Einstein theory and Debye theory. In the next lecture, we will talk about the other application of the partition function. Okay, Allah Hafiz.